friends, this is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 6, I should say. And then in today's tutorial, we're going to be doing the sticky note holders. This is part 6 of my Hello Harvest workshop series. In this series, we've been focusing all month long, in the month of September, on the Hello Harvest stamp set by Stampin' Up. And this, actually not this one, but there's the Harvest dies. Oh, here they are. Rustic pumpkin dies. I'm still not done this series. I'm going to try to finish it this weekend, so it will go into October. Okay, I have a couple announcements to make before we move on. These are Hello Harvest, or Rustic pumpkin dies, I should say. See all the little pumpkin parts? We're going to be using these 3 parts, so those of you that want to get ready to follow along, we're going to be using, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a hot mess today. All right, we're going to be using the leaf, these 3 little swirls, embellishments, right? And so these things here, we're going to be making stickers using this distressed gold, I want to say cardstock or distressed gold specialty paper. This is from the Season of Chic. So we're making our little swirls, but don't worry if you don't have this paper and you only have the Rustic Harvest paper, because you can make the swirl like this. Okay, we're going to be using what's called the stylish shapes dies. Now they are a different bundle. That's why I didn't put them in the initial photo. You may notice that I always put a photo on YouTube, and I'm trying to keep it to the things that are in this bundle. But we are going to use, for this hello, we're going to take the stylish shapes dies. These are just fantastic dies. And we're going to be using them to create this. But at the same time, because I know a lot of you bought the suite, a lot of my customers did anyway, my crafty friends. So I want you to know that you could just use this little leaf here, and it would work fine too. But then you need to tie something on the top. This fits the word hello as well. And we've done that in this series. And I have a whole lot of projects to show you from this series. I even finished the sunflower cards from last time because I'd run out of designer series paper. I have lots of paper now. I'm going to be making lots more cards. So I ran out of that sunflowers. I'm going to show you the finished sunflower cards. I think I made 2 of them. All right, so now what I want to do is this is almost October, so I need to tell you a couple things. And then we'll get started. And yes, I'm feeling fine. I mean, I still have that little bit of a cough, but, I'm feeling fine. All right, now, during the month of September, we're going to start with this announcement. There was, and it's almost over, a special by Stampin' Up. And it's called Perfect Partners. And I've been writing about it in my newsletter every time. But I just took advantage of myself just recently, and I just got this. So I wish I had time to do a demo of it before the end of the promotion, but this birthday piggy is still available. This is in the annual catalog, this birthday piggy. But during the month of September, they offered these dies. Playful Piggies dies. Wait till you see these. Oh my goodness. They're so stinking cute, you're not going to believe it. And my friend Kathy's helping me make wagons for an upcoming workshop. We're going to give you each a wagon. All right, look at how awesome these are. So when you look at dies, and you might be saying, oh, Paper Chef, I just cut out images with my machine. Sure, you can do that with stamped images, and I did actually do a ScanNCut tutorial on this because I didn't think they were ever going to come out with dies. When this set came out, I did a ScanNCut tutorial, and we cut out these stamped images using the ScanNCut, these 3 little piggies. But now look what you could get in addition to cutting out stamped images. You get this little banner, this embossed wagon. You can add the wheels to your wagon. I mean, this grass, it's just fantastic. So I did take advantage of this. And I bought the Playful Piggies dies during the month of September. I don't know if they'll come back. I don't know if they'll offer them again in the future. But they said this was a promotion in September. And there are like a lot of sets that have dies with them that it's only going on in September. I just happen to only get this one. I mean, for the special, the Perfect Partners promotion. Okay, now, coming up in October, the month of October, this is the stamp set we're focusing on. At the end of this video, I'll show you some examples I made with Jingle, Jingle, Jingle. Maybe even if we have time, you'll get to vote on the first card we make in the series for introduction. Not doing a kit, but you're going to be able to get, if you subscribe to my newsletter, I talked about deckled rectangles, stitch rectangles, and things you can use with this. Okay, so I gave you a whole suggested list of items and designer series paper and things that you can get to follow along during the whole month of October. We're going to be doing 3D items, tags, cards, packaging. We're doing a lot with this Jingle, Jingle, Jingle. You know me, I go all out whenever I have a workshop series. And then lastly, in November, we're going to be using the Cheerful Basket Bundle. Cheerful Basket Bundle. Boy, say that 3 times fast. I don't know how many times I've given away this stamp set to my VIPs. We have a drawing, or to my host code. I bought it. I've just bought 2 this time because I was like, if I give this away again, I keep buying this and everybody keeps choosing it as a prize. It's pretty awesome. So what I think I'll do in November is also make it my bingo. So we'll do Cheerful Basket Bingo in November. That's a live event I do on Zoom with my VIPs and my customers and my team. And we're going to also focus on this the entire month of November. And I'm hoping there's going to be a kit too that I offer. And I'm going to make my kits a subscription option so you can earn goodies or get some extra swag the longer you stay in my kit club. All right, so this is just fantastic. I call this one here looks like a bucket of crafty goodness, which I'm always referring to. So this Cheerful Basket bundle has a set of dies with it. So I put that in my newsletter as well. If you go to my Stampin' Up website, linked in the description of this video. I had to put those on another table for a minute. Scroll down, right? Scroll down, and then you're going to see subscribe to newsletter. So it's on paperchef.stampinup.net, and you can subscribe to newsletter. I had to say all those things. I don't like to do such a long intro. I like to dig right into crafting. However, some of those were timely items, and some of you order only once a month. A lot of my customers order just once a month, and I don't want you to miss out on the jingle, jingle, jingle stamp set that you'll need for the workshop. All right, sorry for all the noise. I had to drag my embossing tool a little closer because we're embossing. And now let's just get it right into this project and start by cutting the cardstock. Let's get into it. I didn't finish this one. We're going to finish this one together. What you need is you can use black cardstock, Cajun craze. We'll use some Cajun craze for some of ours. You're going to need some Velcro or some magnets to attach your sticky notes or to adhere your sticky note holder. Okay. Jean, my team member, Jean did this as part of our tech challenge in our group. So this was really fun. She did the tech challenge called How to Create a Sticky Note Holder. And I've been using it ever since. She did that. She did it months ago. I've done this with the Season of Chic, which I'll show you later. I have a lot of things to show you. I'm going to just do a few of these with coordinating colors. I'm going to take some Early Espresso. I'm going to take some Mossy Meadow, Cajun Craze. We'll just go ahead and make 3 of these. So what you're going to do is take your Designer Series paper. Not Designer Series paper, your cardstock. Actually, let's see if I need to open this up. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and open this up because the arm of your trimmer will go out to 8 inches. I think I already have this 8 inches cut. Okay, so 8 inches across. Let me go ahead and get these 2 and make these 8 inches. We'll do the 8-inch part first. So 8 inches. To get a sticky note holder, you need 8 inches across. So this paper is 8.5 by 11, so you're going to have this extra strip. I always save all my little scraps. You never know. We never know what we're going to need them for, right? Okay, so 8 inches across. I repeat myself on purpose. Don't think it's because I'm insane, although that could be part of the reason. But the reason I do it is because I'm a craft teacher and I like to repeat things. Rhythm, rhyme, repetition, it helps you learn. I memorize these measurements to make things easy on myself. I'll be writing them down for you in a little while, but I do memorize these to make it easy for myself. All right, so, okay, so what I'm going to show you, because I've already cut one of these out of the 8.5 by 11, and sorry if I have my, this little piece missing. So you see, I've trimmed off, so I have 8 inches. Now you can make loads of these, and I can also cut a couple pieces of paper at once. So let's just cut a couple pieces of cardstock at once. I'm going to put it in this direction. And so we did 8 inches again, right, by 3 1/4. Okay? Just go ahead and make a bunch of these. Why? Because you never make one of any craft. It's a waste of your time. It doesn't help you mass produce because you don't know. If you give away the first one, you only have a reason to give away the first one. You will then, the universe will give you a reason to give away the second, third, fourth, fifth one. So the more you make, it's like build it, they'll come. So I just make extras, and I have a purpose for these, actually. I'm just putting these extra pieces away. I'm going to be going to an event called On Stage, and I want to carry around a bunch of 3D things to do for 3D swaps. So again, these are 8 by 3 1/4. I'm going to have extra projects to carry around. And I also like making these at Christmas for stocking stuffers. So that was already 8 across. Well, let's make sure I have the one side that was 8. Oops, I think it was that way. You always got to double check if it's a piece like this. It's almost square. So that was the 8 side. Now we're going to turn this around. 3 1/4. So again, use black, Cajun Craze. I'm just going to give you the coordinating colors. Pumpkin Pie. You can use Mossy Meadow. You could use Crushed Curry, but we're already using Crushed Curry for this part. So I recommend, the other coordinating colors. I should have shown you this part earlier. Huh. Oh, I've just done something with Halloween. Let's find the Rustic Harvest. Here we go. Here you go. You can use Merry Merlot, Cajun Craze, Crushed Curry, Mossy Meadow, Early Espresso, and Basic Black. Those are all the colors you can use. This is the suite of products, Rustic Harvest. I've been over this so many times in this series, but it's worth it to say because some of you jump in at this point. You didn't see the rest of the series. All right, we have lots of sticky note holders to make. Now, can you score with your trimmer? Of course you can. I've even put the score on here because I'm doing a card class, and I'm showing how to use the scoring tool. However, I don't like to use the scoring tool on the trimmer, but let's talk about it anyway because we're here and it's there, right? Okay, here you go. So you have this little scoring tool. Can you see that? It doesn't hurt. It's not a blade. It's a scoring tool. It's on your trimmer. So you can use that for what I'm showing you. There's the blade. I prefer to use my Simply Scored every time I score. I have a couple of these extra nibs, and I still lose all these little nibs or markers that come with it. So this is the Simply Scored tool. Looks like that. You're going to pull out this little scoring tool, and you're going to use the smaller side. I use the smaller side for cardstock. Now this, you don't want to score 2 pieces at once, although we could cut 2 pieces at once. You want to score one at a time. You could score one at a time this way. I mean, because the grooves. Get into the groove. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to sing some Madonna, Don't Mind Me. All right, you could put like 2 like this, but what I mean is don't put 2 on top of each other. All right. I told you I was over my coughing. Now I'm coughing. It's, all the talking I do is what it is. We're going to do 2. All right, smaller side again. Bigger side is for making like flowers and things. 2 inches, okay? And we'll do a couple more of these for reinforcement. 2 3/8. 1, 2. Count to 3/8. When I say this is a 2, the number 2 is before the big line. The big line is actually a 2. Each of these lines are an 1/8. The advantage of using this trimmer, when I do use the trimmer, is it goes in 1/16 of an inch, your trimmer. You could score and cut in 1/16 of an inch, whereas this Simply Scored, you can only score and cut, or you can't cut at all, sorry. You can only score at 1/8 of an inch. All right, moving on. We said 2, and then we said 1, 2, 3/8. And we're going to go over here to 5 1/2. And we're going to go to 5 7/8. So remember we said that there's 1/8 of an inch. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is 1/2 an inch. And then we go 5, 6, 7/8. It's the number right where the 6 is. It's right before the 6. All right, let's put that closer. Show you different angles. All right, let's put these off to the side and grab a couple more. And let's see. We did a Mossy Meadow. Just want to make sure we do one of each color. Okay, we'll do these 2. And then I'm going to show you at a different angle because I can see the light from my ceiling is not helping you see these numbers very well. So I'm going to turn it like this. And I'm going to do this again so you can really see it. So 2, even though the 2 is there, on your Simply Scored, you want to use the big line, 2. Because the big line is actually 2 inches. So we got 2, and then we're actually scoring is what we're doing for the sticky note holder. 1, 2, 2 3/8. So we're counting over 3, right? The bigger line is 1/2 an inch. It's the one right before the 1/2 an inch. So it's 2 3/8. Scroll on over, 5 1/2. Okay. And you got to hold your finger on these papers if you're doing 2 at once. 1, 2, 5 7/8. The one right before the 6. Okay, you see that? Now, I'm going to take this, put this little scoring tool back in. You're going to get your little spatula or bone folder or whatever you have. This is going to be the top, meaning it's a little bit wider than this part on the bottom. So it doesn't really matter. You'll find the top later. But I try to tend to, when I make a lot of these, I end up forgetting which way is the top. So I just kind of, the way I remember it's the top is the first, this first one is 2 inches, right? This first little piece, right? And then if you turn it around, the top one is going to be, oh wait, that says 2 inches too. Hold on. I've already lost it. Maybe 1 7/8. Hold on. Did I lose my cookies here? 1 7/8. Yeah, that's right. 1 7/8. And then this is the top. That's the side with the 2 is the top. It's just 1/8 of an inch larger. And you know what? When we cut the designer series paper, we'll have to figure out what the tops are again because I've already, and I didn't mean losing my cookies. I meant, I don't know. Losing my cookies is another expression. All right, let's see. Okay, see, one side is slightly larger than the other side. So I kind of just stack them together to keep them in the right order. And then I do all this, watching my Netflix, one of my fun series now. And you're going to laugh at me, I know. But back in like the 90s, it could have been earlier than that, but probably the 90s, there was a show called Dynasty, and I used to watch it. And now they have a remake on Netflix, and it's just so stupid, and mindless, but fun, but totally fun. Somebody's in a coma, and someone's disguised as someone else, and this person's mischievous, and it's just such a funny, like it's a soap opera. So anyway, that's what it's because it's mindless. Dynasty. I just watch it, and I do this kind of crafting while I'm watching it because I already know what all the characters look like, and I have to look up once in a while to see some fabulous outfits or start having some kind of fabulous gathering, party. So and of course, Fallon's a major funny character with outrageous clothes. So I look up once in a while, but then I do this kind of stuff, and I'll just make a bunch of these. All right, so there we go. That's the bottom part of the sticky note holder. Now let's cut our designer series paper. Go ahead and move this and bring back the trimmer. So we have our cardstock made, and we're going to make the parts we need for the bottom and the top. So let's look at these again. We need a little part for the top. We need a little. Yes, I'm not in Florida, but thank you, Anna. But yes, my sister is safe. My mom is safe. Everybody. Mark's safe, but we're not down in Naples. I really feel for those who are down in Naples, and some of my friends in South Carolina are really badly affected as well as Florida. So my heart goes out to anyone who's been affected by the hurricane, and I am reading your notes about that. So my prayers are with you, all of you. I've been through it before. I know it's very, very tragic. What we're going to do, on a happier note, let's get on a happier note, because maybe you can give crafts to those going through a hard time, which is why we craft, right? It helps to share your crafts. You're going to turn this paper like this to try to we're going to make some rectangles. Like this one's perfect one. Like you see this pattern? Like this, we want to cut a piece like this, and see the back is going to be for the bottom. So what we want to do is turn the paper, because say I want a pumpkin to be in that part. Turn your paper like this, your designer series paper, to get that pattern to show in the right way. And now so we're doing the part that's, see, so it needs to be 2 inches wide, or 1 7/8. So the top needs to be 2 inches wide, and the bottom needs to be 1 7/8 inches wide. So let's just go with the 2 inches wide, because this is going to be for the top. So let's cut some strips, 2 inches. Getting those pumpkins, like there's another good one. There'll be a pumpkin in there, 2 inches. All right, I think that's good enough, because we're going to make 4 of these. So we have that piece done. Well, actually, we'll flip it over. We do need some more. We're going to flip it over. It doesn't really matter which way you cut it, but we're going to cut this side now. 2 inches. Now we're going to go 1 7/8. Now remember, I told you that this trimmer is in 16 inches. It's not in the 1/8 inches like this Simply Scored. So you're going 2 little notches over from the 2 to get that 1 7/8. So this one's 1 7/8 wide, 1 7/8, 2, 1 7/8. And now I'll just kind of show you before we cut it the other direction. That's all we need for this paper. And I did get these to show you that if you only have these pieces, these would make good bottoms too. And I say bottoms meaning we're going to color the paper. We're going to do coloring, so with our stamping blends. And these are great papers to color too, as you'll see when I show you all the projects we made with this series. All right, so now what we're going to do before we move on is show you what we're doing. I'm showing you here. We're now going to cut the width of these. We can cut a couple of these pieces at once. See how we made this 1 7/8 inch high? See how it transforms when you color the paper? See how we made the pattern go horizontally, and we were aware of those patterns? So these are the pieces we want. And you see how these are going to fit on the top part? Well, like this. See, they're going to fit on the top part of our sticky note holder. So that's what I just did, either 2 inches or 1 7/8 inch. Okay, let's cut this side. And we need them to be 3 1/8 inch wide. So we're going to go 3 And these in an 1/8 inch, 3 and an 1/8 inch, and I'm going to do 2 at once. Boom, done. 3 and an 1/8 inch, done. Got all those pumpkins showing. This piece I'm not really going to use. These aren't good for the tops because this is like an upside down squash and a pumpkin. Oh, this one will work. That side will work because you can see a pumpkin there. 3 and an 1/8 inch. So kind of keep aware of where your patterns are. So these pieces will work. This will work. Kind of okay with that squash, but I'd rather have a pumpkin on top. And then if I want to put the hello on, like I'd put the hello on this side because I showed the pumpkin. But on this one, I'd put the hello on that side so you could see the pumpkin. So here's our 4 pieces for the top. And let's just add them so we can figure out which is the top right away. And then we don't have to keep on turning them upside down. So that's the bottom because that's a little bit shorter. This is the top. So that's why I folded them together. So there's the top pieces. Grab out your Seal Plus and we'll just go ahead and add these right now. Or a piece or some adhesive. Get some rolling adhesive. All right, looking for my Seal Plus. So you might not know this, and if you've been around Stampin' Up for a while, we used to have what's called Fast Fuse. And I had a lot of Fast Fuse refills because that's how I roll, but I kind of had gotten rid of the containers for them. The Fast Fuse, my old ones, they fit in my new Seal Plus containers. How cool is that, right? So since then, I did get some more Seal Plus. My order finally came in from that stamp sale we had, which was an awesome stamp sale. And speaking of sales, we're going to have a big sale coming up in October, a free shipping sale coming up. And I know I'm supposed to keep it a secret, but you know what? When they email everybody, it's no longer a secret. And that's, I think, the 5th. I don't know. Hope so my team members are here can say it. I haven't even looked who's here yet. But I'm just adding these. Anyway, we had a stamp sale in September. We had a lot going on, a lot of promotions. We had weekly deals. We had a stamp sale. And I just got the order from that. And so I'm excited to try a bunch of new stamps that I wasn't going to buy. But that little sale pushed me over the edge on all the ones I was on the fence with. Early Espresso, Cajun Craze. Now, this is how I roll. I always do things in multiples. Like, I would never just make one sticky note holder. I mean, it doesn't matter who you, like, you can give it to anybody. Anyone would like this. It's like, you go to the dentist, you give it to the receptionist. I even gave Halloween candy to the dentist the other day. They were like, I mean, they loved it. I mean, the people who work there. I mean, just because they work in a dentist office doesn't mean they don't enjoy candy once in a while. But they would, anybody who works in an office, or it doesn't matter, you don't have to work in an office to use sticky note holders. I use them constantly, like, just, you put them in your purse and you use sticky note holders. I mean, who doesn't like Post-it notes for every purpose for under the sun? So, you know, shopping list or whatever. This is a good little gift to give to anybody. And you can carry them around with you and give them out as random acts of kindness. Okay, so there are the tops of those. Now let's do the bottom pieces. We already did the width, right? 1 7/8 inch, which I'm going to write down. Hang in there. I'm writing it down. We'll do that next. We'll grab one of those grid papers and we'll write everything on it. Okay, let's see. And so this was the 1 7/8, and now it's still 3 1/8 wide. And I'm still doing a couple at once. We're going to color these and everything. That makes it fun. 3 1/8. 3 1/8. So you can get a lot out of this strip of paper. And we have some extra scraps to use for die cutting. Save this for later. Now let's get out the grid paper so we can do some coloring, and I'll write down measurements as we color and stuff. My customers can buy grid paper. You can't buy all the cute ones that we can buy as demonstrators, but you can buy grid paper from my Stampin' Up store. And it's great because it lets you, measure things, and it protects your table, and you just peel them off a big stack. But if you want one with like puppies on it, like my friend Sander showed me, you need the ones you need to get the ones from Stampin' Up. We have ones with puppies for paper pumpkin, and we have like ink color, grid paper. We have all these cool things in our supply area. All right, let's color these. We're going to, let's grab some ink. So what you need now, we're going to do pumpkin pie and crushed curry. We'll put this here. Or, so you can say this, crushed curry, pumpkin pie. We're going to make half and half. So you're going to get your pumpkin pie out. That's the ink. You're going to get ink that coordinates with the Rustic cards. You could use other colors of ink. Put some ink on a stamping block like that. That's our pumpkin pie. Let's open up our crushed curry. I can get rid of these for a moment. I don't think I need these for this video. Cajun Craze and Mossy Meadow. These are just other coordinating colors I have out as part of this set. Okay, let's get some crushed cherry. All right, so there you go. We'll put these up on here. Now we're going to take our blending brushes. I've been using this one for, let's make sure. Oops. This one is, I think, the one I used for Cajun Craze. All right, let's look around. This one looks like it would be for pumpkin pie. Oh, nope, crushed cherry. All right, this is what you do when you don't know where your blending brushes are. So you're going to we're going to take this. I'm going to rub off the Cajun Craze for a moment. I'm going to use this one for crushed cherry. Okay, tap, tap, tap is what you're going to do and go like that. And then this one, even though it has some red on it, I'm going to use that for pumpkin pie in a minute. Let's go ahead and do the light color first in this particular case. So I'm just tapping. I'm tapping onto my stamping block, tapping onto my mat to get a little bit of, get the blob of ink off. And I'm just rolling in there to color the paper. Okay, I'm going to do this a little faster. If I know there's not a big blob of ink on there, I'm not worried about it. Tap, tap, tap. I should have colored that side darker because there was already a little stain of ink on that one. Blending it. So all of these designer series papers, like a lot of them, not all of them, so many of the designer series papers we're coming out with lately have a plain side or a black and white side. And that's anytime you see a black and white side, it just like lend itself to coloring. Just getting a little bit more ink on there. I mean, color it to match whatever your project you're doing. Okay, and the last one. I'm just doing 6 because I have 6 cut. So, you know what? Make the most of it, right? And then now let's go ahead and close the crushed cherry. We're done with that. And we already have some pumpkin pie on there. I think I got most of this. All you do to clean your blending brush, you can wash it with Dawn dish detergent or whatever. But you can also, just tapping it off, is just rub off the excess ink and you can change colors. See? And even if the Cajun Craze mixed in there a little bit, I mean, who cares because it's mostly pumpkin pie, right? So I'm just kind of doing that ombre effect with the pumpkin pie on the one side and the crushed cherry on the other. So I hope you're having fun crafting along with me. And we'll give these things a try because this is the time to make some things for Thanksgiving season of gratitude. You could write thank you on these, give them out. You could write happy Thanksgiving on them. You can donate them to your church and let them, you give them out as well. Like when they have people come in and then they have little gifties to give out. So that say happy Thanksgiving, or especially the one that says you are, where did I put it in there? You are, here, you are such a blessing. Wouldn't that be nice? You are such a blessing, and you give them out to your church, and then they give them out. When people come in and they just say, oh, would you like one of these? And I've given things to shelters before, not this kind of item, but with some of my pet sets. And the reason I give it to shelters is when someone comes in to adopt a pet or give a donation, they can give out the things that you donate to them, like that you make them bookmarks or you make them sticky note holders, whatever. And then when they have someone who donates and they want to thank them, they give them one of the things that you made that you donated. So there's so many, I mean, I don't know, I need to probably do a video on all the different things you could do with your crafts that you make, because some of us just have to craft. And like we just love crafting and you have to craft. I mean, if I don't craft, I'm just not happy. So I love to craft, but sometimes you are, oh, what do I do with all these crafts I made? Well, I always have something to do with them. But if you need ideas on who to donate to, there's everybody would love your crafts and accept your donations. I mean, I don't know anybody who hasn't accepted my donations. All right, closing that, and we're going to now turn this around. So this was the top, right? And that's why I was aware of the way the patterns were going in this. Now we're going to do the bottom. So I'm going to flip these around. These don't really matter which way they go. So we'll just do them different ways. And let's move that for a moment. And we're going to write down the measurements. All right, so we said, let's do this part in the bottom. Top, DSP. I'm just making little shapes. Bottom, DSP. Okay, we'll make the capital B. Capital B, bottom DSP. What else we need? Cardstock. Cardstock. I'll write the measurements down, but so remember you have to do some things. Like little score lines. These are not in proportion, by the way. It'll be more like this to be in proportion. This is why I do my graphic design inside Adobe, Photoshop, and Canva, so I can get, and Canvas Workspace, to get things in proportion. But that's, you have a sticky note holder like that with cardstock, and then you have your DSP. So you're going to be cutting and scoring. So we're going to say cut. So this is this part. Cut the 8 inches. This is the cardstock, right? 8 inches times 3 1/4. And then we're going to score. And that's what these 4 little lines are. 2 inches, 2 1/8. No, I'm sorry. Oh, that's 3/8. The 1/8 was this part down here. The 1/8. Oops. Put 2 3/8. Okay. And then we got 5 1/2 and 5 7/8. Okay, so that's what we do for the cardstock part, and then the bottom part is going to be, the top is going to be, we'll just write it over here. They're both going to be the same width, right? 3 1/8. So let's go ahead and write that twice. 3 1/8. And then the one is going to be the 2 inches, and the one is going to be 1 7/8 inches. All right, there you go. There's your measurements. While you write those down, I can do my hearing with my Seal Plus. And I like to use like so much extra of this, but if you're worried about, oh, I'm using too much adhesive, just have extras on hand, or just use glue. I would say glue, like liquid adhesive, is a better value because you'll probably get more of these done with glue, because as much adhesive as I use, you'll probably run out of adhesive quickly. But I like to have I don't like the corners to peel up. It's just one of my pet peeves. Like, I hate when people give me something and like, well, I don't hate it. I shouldn't say hate. I love when people give me something. But then when it starts falling apart, I have to fix it. And I'm like, oh, man, I wish they would have adhered this a little better so I don't have to fix it. Now, of course, I put a fair amount of wear and tear on my crafts. So my stuff falls apart more than others. All right, so either way, let's put some that way and let's put some this way. It's just fun to have the designs going in different directions. All right, up next is we are going to do the embossing. This whole series, I've been heat embossing almost every single video. I want one of these to go the other way. I keep on moving it that way, but then I adhere it the other way. So we're going to use what's called a copper embossing powder. And then in our final conclusion of the series, I'm going to use the white embossing powder and the craft white ink. I'm going to show you different ways to emboss with white inks, But for this one, I'm going to stick with the design I already have, which is copper embossing powder. I'll go ahead and start adhering some sticky notes while I'm here. I'm just putting some adhesive on the back of the sticky notes. All right, so to get this to go right, in the right way, you want to fold this just like this. It's like fold it up like that. Make sure the sticky note is in the right spot. And then you want to get right above it, which I'm kind of above the camera, so let me hopefully this is centered. Or it's close enough, right? It's a homemade craft. Now you can put tall sticky notes in here, and then it'll fit perfectly, just like that. Now, I didn't have tall sticky notes when I was doing the videos on Season of Chic, so I want to show you that. That was my workshop series prior to this, right? And I had to use a sticky note holder. So the same measurements applied. No big deal, see? Same measurements. However, right, I had a different kind of sticky note holder, and it was fine. It's just a little bit loosey-goosey, but that's nice because this is a refillable little craft that you're giving someone. All right, so let's just, while I'm here, I'm just going to go and put those in. We'll do the Velcro later. I just want to, oops, I used to put the adhesive back here, but then it went over the edges, so I am going to instead put the adhesive back here. And you're probably saying, why don't you just take off the last sheet of sticky? But I want to keep it there because it's a full sheet, and I like I like that it says Post-it and everything. Post-it brand. I mean, I've tried other brands, like, you know, in the Dollar Tree and stuff sells Post-it, but it doesn't seem to really sell Post-it. I mean, it seems like when you go to Staples and you get the actual Post-its, they just seem to be better. Like you get the big pack of super sticky Post-its, not the little, okay, $3 for $1 Post-its. But if that's all you have, I mean, use what you have. But I'm just saying, there is a difference between the quality of sticky notes. Okay, now what we're going to do is take out, hopefully I did this all the right side up. Just double check, you know, that you didn't put them in upside down by flipping the paper around. So there we go, we're doing good. We now need to do the embossing. So we're going to get the Versamark ink, and I'm going to need one. I'm going to need one for the hello as well. So we'll do a couple of these little banners. I don't need to make them all right now. I just wanted to show you that that's how I roll when I make my little crafts. I need to bring these back. All right, so we need some crushed curry scraps of paper. So I have some from my fall projects course. So if you're not familiar with that, I did a fall projects course on the Brother ScanNCut. So and I have some scraps from this class. So anyway, just check that out. There's coupons in my ScanNCut group. If you're not sure about the ScanNCut group, just subscribe to my newsletter, and then I send out links to all that stuff every month. What we need is some Versamark ink and the embossing buddy and all the fun tools that we've been using. So let's see what we have here. Embossing buddy. This is the Embossing Editions Toolkit. I'm just getting rid of all the little things we don't need. We can use a cute little spoon. That's from Baskin-Robbins. We can use, let me just get out all the things we need. We'll use these little brushes and the tweezers and all this business. So let's say we're going to put the embossing buddy onto the cardstock. This makes the powder stick to all the right places and not on the wrong places. Okay. So I'm just embossing buddy, putting embossing buddy on these pieces. Now I'm going to take my Versamark ink, which is your invisible ink. Open that up, and you're gonna use it to stamp with. Get your stamping blocks. Let's go ahead and grab it. I'm grabbing a baby wipe to get all this extra colors of ink off here because I need these to be. I don't want to get anything on these. We're going to take the Rustic Harvest stamp set and get out the leaf and the word hello. Shouldn't have gone far. We had it at the intro of this video. Here we go. All right. Hello Harvest, not Rustic Harvest. Hello Harvest. We want the leaf. You can see how much I've used this stamp set. One thing's for sure is when I get a stamp set and do one of these workshop series, I get my money's worth, and so do my customers. You really use this for all it's worth. we make so many things with it that you really feel like, wow, I never want to part with this now because you have so many ideas. All right, hello. So we're putting hello on one of them and the leaf on the other. So let's go ahead and do this. I don't know if the hello is going to fit with that stitch-shaped die, so let's check ahead of time. We'll have to die cut that first. Well, we'll just do the leaves right now. That's what I'm going to do. We'll do the 2 leaves. We'll do the embossing powder, and then what we'll do is we'll go back and do the hello in a minute. So I have my embossing powder ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to stamp. There's a little white thing. We're going to stamp with the Versamark onto this piece that we put the embossing buddy on, and the embossing buddy is just that little powder that helps the powder stick to, or it's the little, like, I want to say it's like some kind of like talcum powder or something, and it lets the embossing powder stick to all the right places. So this Versamark is invisible, but while it's wet, we can put the embossing powder on it, and then the embossing powder will stick to the right places. So go ahead, let's put that on there. Oops, I'm already rubbing that off. Let's go ahead and get the brush out of here. We'll put this, I'm just going to use the tweezers for this one. And the other one, I'll just use my hand. Okay, dump in some embossing powder on there. Okay, and then turn it over. And you're like, oh, that doesn't look very pretty. But wait till you see it melt. Look at the difference. Look at the before and after. Oh, it's just so magical watching embossing powder melt. All right, that one I'm just going to use my hand for this one because when I'm heating it, I will use the tweezers. Now, don't do too many at once because the powder, when you use Versamark, you got to stick that powder on right away while it's wet. And you walk away, watch TV, and then this stuff will dry, and then you won't have, you need to heat it right away. You don't need to heat it right away. You need to get the powder on it right away. You could sit these here and heat these later. The problem with doing that is that you rub, like I know I do. I rub these off all the time. I rub the powder off if I don't heat it right away. So you heard me earlier running to get my embossing tool. So that's the embossing tool. I need to plug it in. All right. So it's plugged in. There's two settings. There's a zero. Well, there's a zero that's off, and then there's the low, and then there's the high. I just use the high all the time, and you can heat it up if you want first, but the only thing that I want you to do is make sure you move your embossing powder. Like, I just do it instinctively. I moved it really far away from me, like a couple feet, because if not, you're going to blow this heat tool will blow the embossing powder all over the place. And it'll also melt it. So what you're going to do now is just watch this magically transform. Look at that. Is that amazing? So what I'm doing is I'm melting the copper embossing powder. It's part of the metallics collection. It's copper, silver. There's a basics collection, what I guess, copper, silver, and let me think. I forget what the third one is in the gold. It's gold, duh. Copper, silver, gold. Okay, look at that. Is that amazing or what? And then I do it again. I just kind of go like that. I should have done that I should have gone in the circle just so you can hear me. I usually do a circular motion too. I mean, I did go in a circular motion, but I should have said what I was doing. Is that cool or what? So that's before, and that's after you melt the powder. Now, what I was saying is, yeah, there's copper, silver, gold as part of the metallics collection of our powders. And then we have a basics collection of powders, which is white, black, and clear. So if you really want to get into embossing, you can get both collections. Let me fix this one for a second. That's what that little brush is for, to fix any little, this is a little stray piece. It doesn't matter if you fix it too much because you're going to be die cutting this out anyway later when we get to the die cutting stage. Not later, which is next. So we have 6 kinds of embossing powder. You buy them in packs of 3. And they last a very, very long time. So white, black, and clear is good to have. We'll be using clear and white in the next tutorial as I conclude this series. And there's the leaf. Now we're ready to die cut. We're ready to die cut. Now I always, for this kind of thing, I would die cut the leaf after I emboss. But for this one, where I'm going to put hello on here, I would put hello on it and emboss after I die cut. So this is what I'm going to do all together. At the same time, I'm going to show you, because we're going to do everything at once. We're going to die cut this leaf. We're going to get blank ones of these, and we're going to make gold little flourishes. We're going to do this all at once. I'm not going to show you the sticker part again, but this is an adhesive sheet, and I've shown you this in this channel, or not just this channel, but in this series multiple times. I need to get rid of this powder for a moment. Put it way over because we're going to die cut now. So not just move your powder when you're heating, move your powder when you're die cutting, because that handle, you'll probably knock your whole tray of powder over. So when I say handle, I'm going to raise this. We're going to do something with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This, by the way, if you want this machine and you're drooling over it, the way to get it is to join my team. And when you join Stampin' Up, you get this. You can get this in your starter kit. You can get anything you want in your starter kit, but you can pick out $125 worth of items for your starter kit. But there's a special coming up. And I want to say October 5th, but it could be October 4th. But anyway, I'll put it in my newsletter. When you join in October, you're going to be able to pick out 150. Is it 155 or 150? Oh, boy, I already forgot the special. I need to really put it in my newsletter to remember it myself. But there's a special coming up where you can get more items in your starter kit than normal for only $99 and free shipping. But you get to pick out more items. So you get, instead of like the normally when you get your starter kits, you can only pick out $125 worth of items. But this one's going to be a starter kit plus promotion where you get to pick out extra stuff. All right, what I'm doing now And that's the best time. So if you're thinking of getting this machine, I can give you more details. Just email me. We're going to do platform number 1. Platform number 2, which is for thin dies. This is the sandwich when you're die cutting. And then we're going to do we're going to do number 3. And then we're going to do our die cutting, and then we're going to do another number 3 for the top of the sandwich. So what I need is a piece of, this is my crushed curry to make the little banners. And I'm going to get, not my Stampin' Up! Trimmers, snips, I mean. I'm going to use I'm going to use this extra sort of a dull pair. And I'm going to get that other die I told you about. And I'm just going to cut some little pieces out, or pieces so we can die cut. Something like this. We'll get a few banners out of that. Maybe 1, 2, 3 banners. Okay, so we need a piece. Cut some blank ones. So put that there. Like so. Now we're going to take this one. And we only have one of these leaves, so we can only die cut one of these at a time. We're going to put that like this. Like so. And we're going to get the tape. This is a good tape. I like this. Post-it tape. Or you can use a Post-it notes. Or you can use washi tape. Something to help you get this to stay while you're die cutting. So you need that, like that. And then we're going to take this paper that has the adhesive sheet on the back already. And we're going to create some extra flourishes. So while we're die cutting, just create a few flourishes for your embellishments for your sticky note holder. Create these every time you run this through so that you have lots of in your bucket of crafty goodness. Okay. Put the lid on, which is an extra plate number 3. And I should have put the handle. I still can. I'm going to go ahead and turn this machine around and put the handle on this side so I'm not crossing over while the camera's trying to. I don't want the camera to wobble around. So now I'm just going to crank this through and die cut these. Show you how to get them off. And what I like to do is take this, what's called the Take Your Pick tool. This Take Your Pick tool has a lot of cool attachments to it too. So if you're not familiar with it, you can refill the putty. This is good for sequins. But this is a really cool attachment with the pokey tool. You got the little spatula tool, and you even get a die brush. Well, you don't get a die brush, but you can order a die brush. An extra accessory. Oh, I didn't even need to poke it out. It was already poked out. So this is a little sticker that we're going to use. And there's another little sticker flourish. And another one. It's best to use sticker sheets for things like this rather than glue, which oozes out the side. So let's see if I have enough sticker area. I probably have enough sticker area just to cut one more. I guess it's time to show you how to use the sticker sheet then, because I need to cut 3 more. So let's grab the sticker sheet. Well, that didn't go well. More things flew off my table. All right. Maybe not. I'm just seeing if I have any more adhesive sheet. And if not, I'll just use the little bit I have. I can't cut my big pieces right now because I'm trying to use them for something else. So what I'm going to do is just do this. Oops, let's take this. We're just going to cut off the part that has the adhesive sheet. I won't show you how to use the adhesive sheet right now. Maybe in the next tutorial when we make some more pumpkins. We're going to do a really cool special pumpkin card next. All right, we're going to take this little piece that has adhesive on it, and we're going to just use as much as we can to finish our flourishes. Let's go ahead and do that. We have our leaf that we just made. Cool as can be. Die cut. We need 1 more of these. Right? We need this one. We're taking that piece of tape off. We're going to use it again. Go like that. Use it again. And I'm going to pop this out. This is an awesome stylish shaped dies. Love these dies. I'm using them in almost every kit that I've been doing this year. I'm using some stylish shaped dies. Don't worry, when you do get my kit, I do cut out the shapes for you. And I have some helpers that help me cut out die cut shapes. All right, so we give you some, so you don't have to do a lot of, if you just get the bundle, then we do a lot of extra die cutting for you. I'm just going to use that. That's the one little area that fits with the adhesive on back. So we're going to go ahead and run that through. So I hope you understand what I'm doing. I'm just using the adhesive sheet on the part that has the adhesive sheet on the back. And then I have to find another adhesive sheet later when I'm doing a different project. So I will have leftover adhesive sheet for that later. You wouldn't believe the amount of supplies I go through. It's just ridiculous, but it's fun. It just makes me so happy. Okay, so that's what I did, another stylish shape dies. And real quickly, we'll do a third one for good measure because we're gonna make, I have enough flourishes. I've already cut some earlier, so we're good. I don't actually need as many as I think because there's some in my bucket of crafty goodness. Okay, we'll get that. What I do is, if I can't get any more out of something, right? I sometimes use it for cleanup. Just giving you ideas, right? Because as we're chit-chatting around here sometimes, and I take a long time to do certain things, I like to just give you extra little tips and tricks. So this is just personally what I do, because I'm always trying to clean up stuff. So before I throw this away, I just take it and I clean up my craft area with it because it's a nice sticker, right? And it's all the leftover sticker sheet. So use the stickers for all you can. Use it for all you can, and then just go around and clean up all these extra little bits and pieces. Or like even if you want to clean up your carpet, maybe you have a cat. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you just want to clean up extra little pieces. So use those stickers. All right, now we are at the point of I'm doing one more little die cut that you don't even have to look at. I'm just doing that real quick. I'm going like this, running that through real quick in my sandwich, and then I can lower my camera and get back to the little bit of heat embossing we have left, and then with the final assembly with the Velcro and a little bit of, how to do the final assembly. Okay, so let's get rid of, see why I cut it before, just see why I took my piece of crushed curry and I cut out the little shape I need, and I got the 3 pieces out. Now I'm not wasting a lot of cardstock that way. Just cut out the pieces you need. All right, let's go down here. And let's do the Versamark, and it's probably best to get my silicone mat for this. When you're gonna stamp sentiments, let me put all these back in I have like a little magnetic bowl today, so I don't lose all these flourishes. I'm gonna put my little, okay. Get rid of this tape. All right, so let's see what we have. I'm gonna get my bucket of crafty goodness. See, I already have a lot in it from before. Sorry. I already have a couple of these shapes from before. Well, good. We'll just do them. Well, we don't have to do them all. We probably just need a couple. So I'm just going to get all my flourishes I need for this project. And you can use Mossy Meadow flourishes or the gold ones. These are all stickers. All right, so good. Put that off to the side. Now, we have our leaves we need. That's just the top of an ice cream, by the way. So save these little, whenever you have really cool things, you're like, oh, that would make a good little craft cup. I know, that's how I am. One man's junk is another man's treasure. Now we need to use our embossing buddy on these, and then Versamark. And then we're gonna do so here's our embossing buddy. So tap, 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 right? Tap, tap. Oh, that's a lot of powder. I use Versamark on all of them. I'm using a silicone mat. Helps to keep the powder in the right places. Okay, grab the powder again. We're looking for Versamark. Here it is. And the hello. So you're going to open up your Versamark. And you're going to stamp hello off on your mat here. Just to get good coverage. You can't see it, but I'm just stamping it off before I stamp it onto these little banners. Now, hello. I'm only going to do a couple right now because I don't want them to dry. We'll put these off in here for a moment. Pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add the powder real quick. Maybe I'll do 3. Powder, powder, powder. Powder. Okay, pretty good. Sometimes it's hard to see if it's centered because it is, after all, invisible ink. Okay, let's get this one. Yeah, this one doesn't really look centered to me. I think so. I'm going to do a couple more. Maybe I'll do 2 more. We'll just heat a couple, though. All right, I'm going to try this next time to center this better. And it's hard because it's not a photopolymer stamp. When you have these like cling stamps, they're called, they're a little bit harder to center. I'm going to put, it looks like they're going down too far, so I'm going to put this up a little higher. Ah, that's it. That was the trick. So the rubber doesn't meet the road. In other words, what you see on the front of the sticker isn't kind of where the stamp actually is. That one's much better centered. Okay, the hello is supposed to go like that. I'm like, that's a weird looking shape for the O, but I think it's supposed to be like that. That one I'm happy with, and I'm going to use it too to heat emboss. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp one more. Oh, and it didn't really center. I mean, I'm still using these. Don't get me wrong. I still like them. They're just not quite what I want to do for a video, but I'm going to still use them, of course, for my sticky note holders. I mean, my friends and my friends that work with and husbands, coworkers, I mean, they'll love these. They'll just be like, they're awesome. Thank you so much. You want to do something for Teacher Appreciation Week. Now, this is the thing to do, too. Sticky note holders. All right, so now I'm going to get rid of this powder for a moment. That one looks good, too. So I'm going to heat those two. I found the two I'm going to heat. Getting rid of this. Yeah, I've been using, I see what Janet's writing to Yvonne about the tape. And they were talking about the blue tape too. I've been using in my videos a lot that painter's tape. And I do love painter's tape still. I still use masking tape, painter's tape, washi tape to hold my dies, to hold my ScanNCut paper. But when I found the Post-it tape from Hobby Lobby, I was like, oh, yes. But you can also get it on Amazon. I'll link to it. Okay, see this transform? Is that cool or what? I should be moving my little thing around more. I was in the zone. When you get in the zone, you just sort of do this like instinctually. The more you craft, the more things that you do subconsciously, which saves you a lot of brain power. See? Okay, I hope you can see that. Here, let me show you. Sorry, that's a little loud, but I'm going to show you before and after. Look at that. And so my camera doesn't always focus right, so I have to kind of go farther away and then sort of slow so it can focus. But isn't that cool? All right, let's put this one off down there and get the little tweezers. I love these tweezers, by the way. These are the best things since sliced bread. Because there's a metal part, and they're really heavy tweezers, but then there's the little plastic part that doesn't mess up your cardstock. And this is all part of the Embossing Editions toolkit that you get from our catalog. Ah, la la. Watching it magically transform. How awesome. All right, so what's next? Up next is we show you how to put these. Oops. Oh, my tweezers, I had to squeeze from back here. I'm like, don't squeeze from up here. Nothing happens. Squeeze from back here. It's a squeeze behind the hinge. Now we're going to assemble these on this sticky note holder. You could stamp a message in the inside. I did do that, like, you're such a blessing on the one. But for this time, we're just going to decorate the outside, and I'll show you the Velcro, which I'll also link to. So you want to use these clear ones. These are Velcro, and there's clear circles. And then these are like the thinner ones, thinner circles. So I'm going to use the thin one. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to take this sticky note holder, and I'm going to go like this. I'm going to get it to where I want it, see? Just check the side, and you're going to put the circle there, the clear one. Just center it, okay? Now you're going to take the puffy side, the fuzzy side, and you're going to take the fuzzy side and put it on top of the clear one like that, okay? And then you're going to shut your thing, shut it where it goes. If you need to use the side, that's okay, to kind of reference it, okay? Shut it. And then push down, and then open it. And that way, these circles are lined up with each other in the right way. Okay? So one done, one down. Let's do this again. Maybe do a little faster. Circle, clear circle, or magnets, whatever you're using. If you're using magnets, that's what my team member used when she did her demo. She used these tiny magnets, which I linked to in the description. It takes me a while to get my links done, but I get them done. And please use my links because I just offer most of the content I offer is completely free, unless I do my intense courses online, which are several hours or a couple hours for card making and several hours for ScanNCut. And those courses I do charge for, but most of what I do is free. So please use the links in my videos to help support my channel. I appreciate it. Okay, let's put that fuzzy side. It doesn't cost you anything to use my links. They're just called affiliate links, and then you use them. And then when you shop, Amazon gives me a few cents if you buy like Velcro. But a few cents adds up here and there, because you wouldn't believe how many things I have to join to get all the software I need, all the little subscriptions I join, and all the fees I pay, and all the things I sign up for to offer to others. Okay, I'm just doing the last one. There you go. So that's the 4 Velcro. Okay, let me just do that one. Always do the push down and at the right way, because you know you want that to stick on the top part. So we have our, now in the inside you could put, let me find the one I have from before. I'm not doing that right now just for time. You know, look, see, you could put "You are such a blessing" using our little the handmade tag punch and everything like that. We're just going to finish decorating these, and then I'm going to show you the projects from the rest of the series. All right, done with the Velcro. Now let's do the flourishes and the leaves and things. So for these, you could peel off. These are stickers. I'm just going to peel these off and just add these to the part where you don't want to cover up your pumpkin. I'm just going to go ahead and do this Mossy Meadow one. So since I don't want to cover up the pumpkin, I'm going to put the hello up there, just like that. I'm going to make it kind of go off, or maybe, yeah. Let's see. Maybe I'll use this one here. I'll use this one as an example. Instead of Mossy Meadow, we'll do this one, because you see how the pumpkin is over there. So because the pumpkin's over there, I'm going to just put, like, say, I'll put a flourish right here. We could just do 3 flourishes on this, but I'm going to put 1 flourish on the top and 2 flourishes on the bottom, because I don't want to block that pumpkin. So something like that. Get your dimensionals. That's these. You want to get these and kind of put a couple back here. I should move that over. Okay, so these are just foam dimensionals, and I'm going to put it on that side so I don't block my pumpkin. And I don't really want it to stick out as much as you would think, because I don't want it to bend up on the top. So I'm going to actually put it, I don't want it to stick out too much. I would normally let it stick out, but I want this to be able to open freely without getting bent. All right, so that's good. Oops, did I do both of those? Yes. And let's get another one. We've already done, that's the Cajun Craze. I really want to do this Mossy Meadow one. See where to put that hello. We're going to cover up the pumpkin a bit. We're just going to have to. That's okay. I just like that Mossy Meadow one. I'm going to do more as soon as this video is over, because I have all these hellos ready to be embossed. Ah, ooh la la. Now for these ones, what I want you to do is I want you to take your Seal Plus adhesive, and I want you to put it right here. Either there, you can put it there, and if you want, put it on the top of your leaf. But don't put it on the bottom of your leaf. Right? You can put it on the top of your leaf. Like, just make sure you really get a lot of adhesive there. Okay, so there you go. Now you're going to put this right like that. The reason is you want to make sure you don't get adhesive, on the bottom part. Right? And you might say, oh, duh, but I've done it before. I've made that mistake. So make sure you put the adhesive and not on this part, on the part for the top. So that's good. Now we need a few little flourishes. And I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 on the bottoms of these, because the top has already so much going on. So we're going to put a flourish down here. And you're saying, well, why do you even need 2? Because I do everything in odd numbers. So that's why. So I need 3 total. So I need 2 on one panel and 1 on the other. And it just depends on where your items are, where you place these. And sometimes you got to poke out the extra little bits. Oops, that part ripped a little. I think it's going to need some tender loving care. Ooh la la. And I think this one needs I think these must have spilled. This one needs a Mossy Meadow one. I was like, how come I put them all in the bowl and now they're all over the place? That's when I knocked them over a little while ago. So what I'm doing is putting, I say I'm doing everything in odd numbers, but sometimes you can mix like your Mossy Meadow with your gold, right? So you have, oh, how fun. That one must have not had adhesive on the whole part. All right, that's done. 1, 2, 3 of those. Embellishment, embellishment, done. Okay, done. And this one is going to be done later. Let's finish that one. Oops, I put that right where the leaf is going to go. So we'll put the leaf there instead. Why not? Because we can, because we're crafters. And I'm not going to move the embellishment, so I'm just put the leaf there. And let it all hang out. There we go. Cool. We can do whatever we want, because it's your project. And you might be following along with completely different paper, which is fine too. Little gold flourish, and I'm going to do another little swirl thing. I just love these little swirl things. These are supposed to be like the top of the pumpkins, but I just love these. I just put them all over everything in this Rustic Harvest series. I'm about to clear the deck, so don't leave if you want to see all the projects I made in this series so far. And get a sneak peek of the Jingle Jingle. All right, there we go. There you have it. I know I had another example from earlier, but it's already missing in action. Oh, this is the one from earlier. I just never finished it. Okay, so we have, what you saw is today, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of everything. So you could just have my table. You could see the table. What you have is we just made sticky note holders in this, and I want to show you just another example, right? You can, what we just did, you could do with any and every suite that we have at Stampin' Up. You can make these for Halloween. You can make these for stocking stuffers. In fact, we'll probably make them in the Jingle Jingle, just because if I'm making something, I'm showing you how I'm making it. And I was happen to be making these right now. So I may make these in the next series, I'm not sure. But what I'm saying is they're so versatile, so useful. So that was part 6. Okay, I just want to show you what we've made in the series. Okay, let's see. I'm going to take everything out of the bag here. And I'm showing you what we've made, what we're going to make, what's related to what we're making, et cetera, et cetera. No particular order. So I'm not going to try to remember which part was which, but I will say that this was the last part. I do know that. We did make these last time. So if you missed part 5... then this is what we made. And I told you, like, I was running out of paper, and I'll go back and make more. And then I did go back and make them. I really like how this tone on tone came out. This piece of Designer Series paper that was Mossy Meadow over the top of a Mossy Meadow card base. I really do like that. And I showed you how to do the emboss the flowers. We use the blender pen last time to color those sunflowers. Okay, so I hope you like these projects. So this was part, what did we say, part 5. And then I believe this was part 4. But who's counting anymore? So I showed you how to emboss This Loveliest Day, and you can see how much stuff fits in these boxes. These boxes are different than the boxes I usually make because our lid and our bottom of the box were different sizes. I may just put it in, I think I'm going to do a newsletter today because it's like October, for my October newsletter, because I have coupons for my courses that I'll put in my letter. And I think what I'm going to do is put these measurements in there. Underneath that project. I'll put a little text box and write the measurements because a lot of people have been asking me about the boxes. All right, now let me just show you the rest of these. Again, in no particular order. It might mean that we didn't make them in the series. We may have made them. We may make them in the final conclusion of the series. Okay? You can see how we emboss. We use the embossing additions toolkit loads and loads of times. I used that that label punch to make that handmade tags punch. I mean, it's not a label, it's a handmade tags punch to make. I showed you how to use Versamark to make these really cool pumpkin cards using Versamark, so check that out. Okay, here's something else with lots of Wink Stella. We colored the background of the papers. This is using clear embossing powder only. We didn't do this one in the series, but this is all from Rustic Harvest. And I believe we're going to do this one in the conclusion because I want to show you about the white embossing powder. Okay, this one is an emboss resist technique I showed you. This is my favorite of all the cards, even though the other card with the sunflowers got a few more votes when I did a poll on YouTube. So feel free to take my polls on YouTube. I just did a poll about who's downloaded the new mobile app for the ScanNCut, so check out my polls. I don't know what's going on here. See what happens when tape gets stuck on things? I'm stuck on you. We'll be doing this one in the conclusion as well because some of you have asked me about how to use this piece of paper. You're like, what do we do with this piece of paper in the Rustic Harvest series? Well, I'm going to show you that. Just go to paperchef.stampinup.net, Lynn. Just go to my link, the first link. In every single video, in the last like 100 videos, I put that as my very first link to my Stampin' Up page. And on that page, you can sign up for my newsletter. I don't do all the whole little thing about giving you something free when you sign up for my newsletter. Because, not that I don't want to do that, but almost everything I do is free. So I just hope that you'll sign up for my newsletter anyway. And eventually I'll probably do something that you can download when you sign up for my newsletter. But I want people that actually watch my videos to sign up for my newsletter so that the information's relevant to you. I mean, eventually I might do something. Download this if you sign up. But right now it's just, can you sign up? Go click and sign up. Okay, this one, we'll do something like this next time too with that white embossing powder. I think I'm done showing you all the cards. Oh, and we did this too, this series. We've done lots of 3D projects. During part 1, we made these diaper fold treat pouches. Okay, so these were fun to make. So that's what I was telling you. Like, you could go back to that video number 1 if you don't have the crushed curry and the stylish shaped dies that I used today, right? The stylish shaped dies. Go back and use a leaf and do a leaf instead on the front of your sticky note holder, okay? And you're welcome, Lynn. Okay, I want to say hi and goodbye at the same time because I didn't get to say hi to you. And this one I made in my ScanNCut course called Fall Projects. Okay, so this is where I made this one. Well, I am concluding now by saying goodbye to everybody that was still here. And I'll kind of play around with my projects as I do that and start putting them away. But anyway, this was made with the ScanNCut. I showed you how to design this from scratch. Hello, Kathy, Lynn, Marilyn from Alabama, Deborah from New South Wales. She's checking in on everybody from the storm. Hey, love the piggy dies, Nola's saying. Hello, Linda from Stamp, Cut, and Create. Yeah, I'll be on a couple times this weekend. I have a lot planned. Hello, Sandra, or Sandy, I should say. Kofit, Stampin' Grounds. I like that my team members have YouTube channels with their brand names, so I'm really happy about that. Hello, Denise from South Dakota. And Cindy and Anna from Australia. Okay, I'm glad you guys are checking on each other. And Yvonne. Deborah's praying for everyone, and so is Kathy. All right, okay, Kathy's saying she's hoping to craft a lot this weekend, right? I know. We're going to be coming up. There's so much going on in October. I see you're making birthday cards. There's going to be a new birthday card kit that helps you remind you of birthdays as they're coming up. Yes, thank you. Okay, Janet said October 4th is free shipping. See, Janet's the one that wrote me a message and said she told me about the free shipping. I didn't even know about it. Stampin' Up was like, oh, it's a secret, but then they sent it to all of us. They sent it to 55,000 demonstrators. That's no longer a secret, so that's why I'm announcing it. Thank you, Yvonne, like taking advantage of the weekly sales. Yes, senior homes. Okay, Yvonne, good idea. Senior homes would love these sticky notes. Thank you, Yvonne, because these sticky notes are, you don't have to worry about giving them something that might go against their diet. They're going to be able to write down little notes about their shows or remember to tell their daughter or son this. Maybe they're having trouble with their memory, right? And they can write down little notes to remember things or just, things they like about the shows. I sometimes write down points of conversation. Like, oh, next time I talk to this person, I want to tell them that. So give these to the nursing homes. I think they would love keeping those next to their phone. That's a great idea. And yep, craft fairs, Denise. That's what I would use these for too. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, I see we got some spam. Thank you. Lynn. Oh, she also loves Dynasty. There's a whole redo, Lynn. You got to go check it out. It's a Netflix exclusive series, and I'm totally addicted, and they just came out with a new series that I'm only halfway through. So I'm going to be making these, like, finish making these as I watch that. Totally cool. Yeah. All right. Hello, Jade. I know you also love to make 3D crafts. That's awesome. Thanks for all your comments. I see there's a lot more. I just can't get to them all. But thanks, Anna and Elaine. All right. That's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. I've gone way over time with this sticky note project. Way over time, but I had a lot of announcements to make, so I'm kind of really glad I did. No regrets. I'm off to finish my little embossing of these ones I started earlier that the powder's been sitting on, that they need to get heated. I'm going to finish some more projects. And next time in store for you is going to be, and it's going to be the conclusion of the series. It's going to be done in October. We're going to show you about the white embossing pattern. And those of you that stuck around for the last minute are in for a treat, because as I promised, I'm going to show you what I made with Jingle, Jingle, Jingle so far. Okay? And let me just show you. But I'm not going to do the voting. I'm just going to pick a card to make next time. No time for voting. But in the Jingle, Jingle, Jingle series, we're going to be using both the stitch rectangle dies for our cards. And, oops, some of these aren't done yet. You know I'm into mass producing, guys, right? Mass producing cards. Here we go. And I'm going to be using what's called the deckled rectangle dies. And my friend Kathy, who's on here now, also gave me a couple examples to show you for this series that you can use your tags, the tag dies for. Okay, may or may not be using them myself. I don't know if I have those with me, but I know I'm going to be showing you her examples of what she's done with this beautiful series. So you have Jingle All the Way, 'Tis the Season to Be Jolly, and Believe in the Magic. I'm also thinking for the Believe in the Magic, I'm going to do something with the snowman and the Believe, because I think that'll go great with the snowman. I'm going to be showing you different ways to do two-step stamping, different ways to do coloring, blending, and there's a lot going on. So one of the first cards we're making is going to be using this Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. All right, that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great day.